Welcome back to the F.L.O.E podcast, where we just have a friendly chat with future leaders of excellence. Now, I'm Sham, and this is Adric.
Y'all know the vibes.
We're going to be your hosts for this episode and many more to come. Now, today's future leader of excellence is Coach Harris, and I want to welcome him. And today, the topic is going to be about the parents' point of view in terms of having their child go to college. What do they think about? What do they worry about? What's going on through their heads? How do they help? So we're going to be covering that topic today. So I'm going to hand it off to Adric to get us started with the starter question.
Okay, so usually when we jump into this podcast, we always start with a starter question. The starter question is to get you more comfortable, get you more confident with just talking and just prepare like your thoughts and get your thoughts together. So our starter question for you today is, if money wasn't a concern, what career would you choose?
I mean, I feel like I already do that now, coaching basketball. Uh, it's something that I love to do. It don't make a lot of money doing it. Um, Funny, I was just telling baseball. I was out there with baseball team, and I was just telling them how a college coach can make $600,000 doing the same thing that I love to do, and I'm only making $2,000, $3,000 doing it. But just because I love to do it, and I have a passion to help and see young men grow, then this is what I love to do.
Before like before coaching though, was there ever a time where you felt like you was passionate about something else, or like as a kid we always talk about how like we want to do so many jobs, but what was like your job before you kind of realized, okay, coaching is something that I know I love doing and I have a passion for it, so now I want to do this?
I mean, honestly, growing up, I was just playing sports all my life, so I was one of those kids. I'm gonna play in Major League Baseball, play NBA.
Yeah.
So that was just something that I thought growing up. But I mean, I never thought that I would get into the profession I was as helping kids and teaching. So, just it's always been sports.
Yeah.
That's just something that I've always been around.
Okay. Well, I feel like that answered that question from there. So now we're gonna jump into the topic of discussion that y'all been waiting for. So I'm gonna let Sham introduce that topic.
Now, I guess let's just start off with a bit of a background. Like, well, when you knew your daughter was going to go to college, what was the first thing that you thought of? What were the first worries that you had?
Oh man. I mean, considering the fact that me going through college and how when I first got out of school, I didn't think I was going to college because I knew I wasn't playing sports. So my mindset wasn't all the way into college. And then when I got to college and seeing my growth as a freshman on, so that makes me think back to now when she has to make a decision, and made me, one of my things is definitely money, definitely how can we get the tuition as low as possible, but also her environment, that was big for me. And that doing, what she wanted to major in, and we all know at a young age you change your major so much, so felt like that was important. But just because of the environment, that was big for me.
Okay, so I think making sure I heard you correctly. You said that when you got out of school, you wasn't sure whether you was going to college.
Yes.
So why is that though? Like, what do you think your path was leading to after high school?
Well, just both parents, high school, getting out of high school. I had an older brother at the time. He tried college and it didn't work. He moved to Atlanta. He ended up getting later on after the fact, but it really, when he went to Atlanta and I seen the opportunities that he had, I had in my mind that I was just gonna go and do the same thing and work.
Yeah.
But honestly, my mom pushed me and drive me that say, because of how her situation went with my older brother, the fact that, okay, you have no choice. I had no choice. And with with the coaches I had in high school, I wasn't thinking about doing an application, any of that, but they made me. They made me do it. They made me do about 10 applications and said, this is what you're gonna do. And pretty much that's how I ended up going to college.
So you had great coaches that pushed you. So how, like, being that you're a coach right now, how valuable do you feel like it is like to have a relationship between, well, having that player and coach relationship? Like, how much do you value that? How much do you feel like that's important for a person going to that next level, or just in life in general?
I mean, it's very important because you see they just like I was. They kind of they're not getting the basics of what's important after high school. And I always talk about this big picture. While we're in high school, we have this small bubble, but there's a bigger bubble that creates what we want to do or what we don't even know what we want to do. So when you're seeing kids walking in the hallway all the time, is where your mindset at, because honestly 4 years go by fast.
Yeah.
But we don't realize that until it happens.
You really don't, because I remember just me being in high school just a few months ago, and
Quiet.
thinking about coming in, just coming into high school, like, you don't really realize like how fast college would go and how fast like time would just fly when, I wouldn't say you're like, as time goes, or just really like when as time goes on, like when you come into high school, you probably just thinking like, this is like what I want, like this is what life looks like after being a kid, like at this point in the stage in my life, it's time to like, this is where I'm growing up, even though we're all still growing, but soon as you get to your senior year, you look back, you're like, dang, like time is over with, like now it's time to really move on and go to the next level.
So do most youngsters, I mean, just getting out of high school, I wonder how much do teenagers actually pay attention to what their parents going through, and what an adult is, because honestly, that's kind of where I think our kids and even mine's like not realizing that you're gonna be an adult one day. So what are you gonna do to better yourself?
But to me, I don't think that question really hits until like we get to college or something like that, to the point where it's like we all by ourselves, and maybe like the situation that you're in may not be like that situation where, as far as like when you was at home or something like that with your parents, how kind of everything is kind of like just laid out in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like they kind of paved the way and lead you in a direction that they want to lead you in, because of the fact that they probably went through something they don't want you to go through.
Yeah.
So I feel like I be understanding to like what my parents go through, but at the same time, I feel like it don't really hit yet until I am by myself. What you think?
I was gonna say basically somewhere along the same lines, because honestly, we take everything for granted up until once I hit college. Once staying in the dorm for a few nights, the first few nights, it's like, okay, the homesickness hits you. It's the parents not, parents. Okay, dinner time. No, you have to go to the dining hall and get food.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I'm seeing it now. I mean, I love talking to my daughter. It's like, I talk to her like I talk to my players, and I listen and I observe. And I told her, I said, you better learn how to make some oodles and noodles, because you're gonna have to. It's gonna be a late night where you don't have a ride to Burger King or whatever, McDonald's, and you don't have a ride. So how you gonna survive?